Presented by the 2018 Honda Civic Type R. Like no Honda you've ever seen.
Welcome to an open-air Rogers Center tonight. It is Margaritaville Jimmy Buffett night here at Rogers Center. The bucket hats were given away. A lot of Margaritaville-themed activities. And there's a Key West shot you can have for a souvenir. Before the game, there was a cover band playing Jimmy Buffett's great hits. And we are in open-air baseball. 23 degrees on a spectacular Friday night. And the Yankees are here. Yankees coming off a 4-2 homestand. They're 56-28, second in the AL East. Aaron Hicks has been a hot hitter, and he didn't get much recognition with all those great hitters in the lineup, but over his last 8 games, batting .379. And then Giancarlo Stanton is really worn out the Blue Jays. He has 8 career home runs against the Blue Jays and 12 RBIs in 16 games, and he's hit 6 home runs here at Rogers Center.
Very powerful team, but they can do so much more offensively, so you have to be on your game. Sam Gaviglio will make his 9th start of the season. Pitched very well his last time out, 7 innings against Detroit. Picked up a no decision, though. Blue Jays couldn't score him enough runs. That's 3 straight no decisions against this Yankee team earlier. He had the longest start of his career at that time, 7 innings, shutout baseball against the Yankees. He needs to do it again today. He's got that ERA under 4.
Brett Gardner's in the box. Gaviglio into the windup. Here's the first pitch of the game. It is in there for a strike, and we are underway. The veteran Brett Gardner. He is a throwback leadoff hitter for sure.
Takes a lot of pitches. Yeah, well, he's got the speed. He makes a lot of contact. He's got one of the lowest chase percentages in all of baseball. He just doesn't chase pitches off the plate. And he is tough to strike out.
He's in his 11th season with the Yankees. He's now 34 years old. Originally a 3rd round pick by New York. Change up in the dirt. 2-1 to Gardner. Gardner was an all-star in 2015 and won a Gold Glove in 2016. He's had his best run against the Blue Jays. He's at 17 home runs against the Jays. Another pitch downstairs, and you're right. Gardner, he won't chase many pitches out of the zone.
Not at all. In all of baseball, he is the sixth player with the lowest chase percentage. Only Joey Votto, who is number 1, chases less than Gardner.
Good sink on that fastball. But now it's a full count to lead off man. Aaron Judge is on deck. He'll bat next. The Yankees, of course, have a lot of power. Judge has 24 home runs as a team. The Yankees have 144. Ground ball up the middle, past Travis into center. A leadoff signal for Gardner. Let's take a look at the rest of the defense for the Blue Jays. Kevin Pillar in center, flanked by Hernandez and Grichuk, and Devon Travis back at second base.
Yeah, Devin had the day off on Wednesday. The Blue Jays had a scheduled off day yesterday. John Gibbons was telling me today he didn't want Travis to sit for 3 straight days, so he is in there at second base. Swinging the bat a little bit better of late, but you got to keep him in there and keep that bat going.
Now here is Aaron Judge. First pitch strike to Judge. Gardner run a bit, even with these power hitters in the lineup. And I don't expect him to run right off the bat. He has 7 steals and 8 attempts.
Yeah, you'd like for him, Judge, to swing the bat, especially with runners on base, because he can lose it at any time.
Strike 2.
It's an interesting defensive alignment with the big hitters. We're going to watch Judge and we're going to watch Stanton. They don't hit a lot of ground balls, pulling ground balls. So the defense more up the middle with both of these hitters.
0-2.
You would think that with these big, strong right-handed power hitters, they play 3 defenders on the left side of the infield. But you go back and you look at the charts and you look at the ground balls that they hit. They're right at the shortstop or second baseman. So the Blue Jays are going to play him basically straight up.
There goes Gardner. He got a good jump. Swing and a miss. Judge strikes out. Gardner's in safely at second. with his 8th stolen base of the season. He was running on the pitch. It was a slider, and Judge strikes out.
One of the reasons why Sam Gaviglio was so good against the Yankees last time, his two-seamer was off the plate and then on it. The slider was a strike and then off the plate. It was a great combination. The hitters for the Yankees really couldn't pick up the pitches, and he was dotting them on the corners. That was a good pitch there to get Judge.
This is Aaron Hicks. We mentioned Hicks over his last 8 games, hitting .379, .259 for the season. Goes after the first pitch, and I don't care who you are, strike one is the best pitch in baseball.
Yeah, no matter who you're playing or who you're pitching up against, you've got to jump ahead. And that's what he was doing in that start against the Yankees. Strike one, going right after him, attacking him. This is a very patient team, the Yankees. They're so much more than just hitting home runs.
Boy, a good movement on that two-seam fastball right over the heart of the plate.
That was the pitch that was working for him in that last start. It was a ball and then it was a strike because of the great movement. And he's got to live there. He's got to live on the corners to be successful tonight.
Oh, 0-2. Ball in the dirt. This lineup that the Yankees have put together tonight for their career, combined, they are 1 for 18 against Gaviglio. But Gardner had the only hit in this lineup that Aaron Boone has put together. Gardner has his 2nd hit against Gaviglio. But it's the 2nd time the Yankees have faced Sam.
See if they make the adjustments this time around. That was the first time in their career that they faced Gaviglio.
Ground ball. Travis knocks it down, throws to first in time. Boy, a nice determined play by Devin Travis. They were playing Hicks in the shift. Travis knocked it down, stayed with it, and threw to first for the out.
There's only 3 players in the lineup that the Blue Jays are going to shift against, and this is one of them here, Hicks. The details say that he pulls a lot of balls on the ground. And luckily they had Travis in the shift because Devin went over, knocked it down, picked it up, and recorded the out over at first base. That's why you take a look at those scouting reports. You put everything together to design your defense, and it worked out, helped them out that time.
So here is Giancarlo Stanton batting with 2 outs. Here's the defense, as Pat was mentioning, against Stanton. The infield relatively straight away.
Yeah, and you say, well, how can you do that against a big power hitter, a right-hander who pulls the ball? They don't pull the ball. They hit the ball wherever it's pitched. They're just bigger and stronger than everybody else.
Off the plate. The outfield is interesting as well because they really bunch Stanton in the middle. The left fielder, Teoscar Hernandez, is way over in the power alley. One pitch. Good pitch. Just off the plate inside. Home plate umpire is the veteran Andy Fletcher.
Stanton has been hitting the ball a little bit harder lately. Aaron Boone was talking about that before the game today. The manager of the Yankees is starting to put together more consistent at bats, hitting the ball hard the other way.
Gaviglio walked Stanton in one of his 3 plate appearances facing Stanton the first time these two met. Gaviglio started, as Pat mentioned, on June 6th against Sonny Gray. Same pitching matchup that we have tonight. Well, he's got a good sinker early in this game.
Yeah, it's off the plate, and the batters can't give up on it because it's starting to dive back on the over the outside part of the plate. I think you have to show him inside. You can't just live out there. You got to show him inside every now and then get him out away.
Gonna go away on this 3-2 pitch. Ball 4.
Well, Gavilio, Sam's been a really pleasant surprise, I think, for the Blue Jays. This is what he will throw in the percentages that he will throw them. The fastball, the slider primarily for Gavilio. He's got a little bit of a split changeup where he splits his index and middle finger to get something off the baseball, and to mix in a curveball every now and then, 6% of the time. His last start, that was against the Tigers. He threw more sliders than changeups.
D.D. Gregorius, the shortstop, takes a strike. The first pitch strike for Gavilio. This is what makes this Yankee lineup so tough. Yeah, everybody talks about Judge and Stanton, but you got Hicks, you got Gardner in the leadoff spots, you got Gregorius, Andujar when he's healthy, Gleyber Torres. They got some hitters in their lineup.
All the way down, and they've got a couple more if they want to come off the bench.
There's a looper down the left field line, but it's foul off the end of the bat. So Didi needs a new piece of lumber. With the bats nowadays, hitters go through a ton of bats, and on this road trip, this is an 11-game road trip for the Yankees. You can imagine how many bats they're carrying around. I mean, dozens and dozens of bats.
Truckloads of bats, 11 games.
They will not go back to Yankee Stadium until after the All-Star break. They play 3 in Toronto, 4 in Baltimore, and 4 in Cleveland before the All-Star break. Another 0-2 count for Gavilio. Got him. There's that swing back fastball. Gregorius gave up on it. It catches the inside corner. Couple of strikeouts for Gavilio and 2 left on base. Here at Rogers Center, and they'd like to finish up this homestand on a good note. Curtis Granderson, top of the order over his last 19 games. He's hit .328 with 11 extra base hits and 11 RBIs. And then down in the cleanup spot, Solarte and Smoak has worn out the Yankees this year. He's 10 for 34, 4 doubles, 2 homers, and 8 RBIs. And Smoak would like to get it going once again against the New York Yankees.
This is 28-year-old Sonny Gray, 17th start of the season. Just a 5-6 record with an elevated .544 earned run average. There have been glimpses of being very good. There have been times where he hasn't been very good. Last time out against Boston, just 2 1/3 innings, 7 hits, 6 earned runs. And against the Blue Jays a month ago, he threw 8 innings. That's a season high, and had 8 strikeouts, which was a season high. The key for him, I think, is his breaking ball. Can he get the breaking ball over for a strike?
Austin Romine, the catcher, back in the lineup. He has been Sonny Gray's personal catcher, but he's been dealing with hamstring soreness and has been out of the lineup for the last 3 games. But with Gray starting, he is back behind the plate. Four-seam fastball right down the middle of 1-1 to Curtis Granderson. Whereas Granderson played with the Yankees 4 years. Spent 4 years with the Mets, the team the Blue Jays just played, and 4 years with the Yankees.
There's the breaking ball. Lots of sliders, lots of curveballs. You can call his slider a cutter also. Cuts it just a little bit, a slider. He's got to get that off-speed pitch over because he'll throw a lot of them.
There's a good breaking ball. Strikeout number 1 for Gray. Let's take a look at the defense. Good outfield with Hicks in center, Gardner in left, and Judge in right. Second base is an issue right now with Gleyber Torres on the DL.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to highlight Neil Walker. Torres on the disabled list now with a right hip strain. Just the 9th start of the season for Neil Walker at second base. The veteran, he can play there, and he'll get most of the playing time while Torres is on the disabled list. That's a big miss for their infield. It's been outstanding for them both offensively and defensively.
First pitch fastball at 95. We did not see 95 from Sonny Gray earlier in the season. This is the 4th start for Gray against the Jays this season. A scheduling oddity. This will be the last time the Yankees are here at Rogers Center this season. Of course, the Blue Jays and Yankees opened up this season right here at Rogers Center back in March.
Then they were right back here beginning of June. And now here they are the beginning of July, and that's it. I asked Teoscar today, have you faced Sonny Gray? He says, oh yeah, I've faced him 4 times. He will challenge me at times with the fastball.
That fastball jams him and breaks his bat. Andujar goes to first, 2 down.
But you got to be ready to hit the breaking ball because Sonny Gray has a good one. Let's take a look at the rest of the scatter report for the veteran. 53% of the time he's going to throw that fastball. Look at all the off-speed pitches. 22% curveball, 16% sliders. He's got a changeup and a cutter, a little bit of everything. Trying to get him to work a little bit quicker. He can be a little slow out on that mound.
Hernandez Solarte. He's just 1 for 6 going head-to-head with Sonny Gray. Solarte batting right at 250 for the season. Another good fastball. Another thing they've done trying to help Sonny Gray out a bit is they've turned things over to his catcher, Austin Romine. Trying to clear Gray's mind and let him just focus on execution and not worry about the theory of setting up hitters.
Because the guy has so many pitches, you can get creative out there instead of just letting the catcher do the thing. You're right. Sonny can do that at times. Throws a really good 2-seamer. It sinks away. So, I can throw a better one. Well, maybe a cutter or a fastball is the better pitch.
I think Sonny Gray is a lot like Marcus Stroman because they're very talented and they can manipulate the baseball and they try to create things. When they first got to the big leagues, both of them threw a very good fastball and a very good curveball.
That's right. And they work quickly. Sonny Gray would pound the strike zone. Now he's got 4 wide ones.
A 2-out walk issued to Solarte, and that'll bring up Smoak. And we mentioned Smoak's damage against New York, 10 for 34 with a pair of home runs and 8 RBIs. Smoak against Sonny Gray hasn't had a lot of success. He's just 6 for 32, but he's been swinging the bat much better of late.
I asked him about that, and Smokey said, you know what, I have to keep telling myself to get ready. When I'm ready to hit, that's when you see him really start to load up on that back leg and get those hands moving through the strike zone.
Romine again coming with that 4-seam fastball for strike 1. That's off the glove of Romine, and Solarte will move up. Romine just tried to catch it, and instead of blocking it, he allowed Solarte to move into scoring position.
Looked like he thought he could pick that ball. It's going to be on the short hop. He is set up on the outside. It's off the plate. Didn't come up. Tried to pick it. And that'll send Solarte to second base.
Well, the Blue Jays have to take advantage of every break the Yankees give them. They can't go toe-to-toe with them. Breaking ball pulled foul. 1-2 now to Smoak.
Yeah, when a team's got more talent, players having better seasons, and they just have a great record. This is one of the best teams in all of baseball. You can't match. You got to take advantage of the mistakes that they make. They wild pitch a guy to second base. You gotta cash him in.
And the Blue Jays have to play a clean game. They have to get a well pitched game and can't make mistakes on defense, and have to take advantage of your opportunities with runners in scoring position. 1-2 off the plate. The Blue Jays scored 6 of their 11 runs in their last 2 games against the Mets on home runs. 11 of the 21 runs they've scored on this homestand have come on home runs. Another breaking ball. It's a 3-2 count to Smoak.
It's such a key for Gray is to get that breaking ball over, finding that release point of that slider and then that curveball.
Good take by Smoak. Another walk. That'll be a 2-out walk issued by Gray. Back-to-back 2-out walks, and that'll give Kevin Pillar an opportunity.
That matches his total over his last 2 starts. His last start against Boston, check that, he had 2 walks. Walks 2 here with nobody out. 2 out, nobody on, and he walks 2.
Kevin Pillar. Kevin batting .245 for the season. First pitch strike, but a tough pitch down and away. Kevin on the homestand, 3 for 18, a 167 average. He has a double, a walk, and a couple of strikeouts. Boy, there's a lot of run to that pitch. That started out over the plate and ran all the way off the plate inside. That's what Romine told me before the game about Gray's fastball. People don't realize how much it moves. And tonight he's got a little extra giddy up on it.
Yeah, he's working on 4 days rest. And it was an abbreviated start the last time out, just 2 1/3 innings.
Base hit to right field. Solarte is going to be stopped, and now Judge drops it. But Rivera had stopped Solarte before Judge got to it because he was so shallow, and it was right at him. So Rivera stops Solarte at third, and then Judge dropped the ball, and you couldn't restart after that because he'd come to a complete stop.
2 outs in scoring position. You're generally going to score that runner. You're going to take a chance. Solarte out at second base doesn't get a great jump out there. The ball mishandled by Judge in right field, but they had already thrown the stop sign up. Let's watch. Solarte, he's getting the wave, and now he's getting the stop.
That's unfortunate, but Judge was so shallow when he got to the ball, and he's got 7 outfield assists, and it was hit right at him. So the bases are loaded. A couple of 2-out walks and a base hit by Pillar. Russell Martin. There's a good breaking ball. It's 0-2.
I asked Russell today about Sonny Gray, and he says, I know I'm going to get my share of breaking balls. The key for Sonny Gray against me is that slider. Got to be able to hit it because I know I'm going to get a lot of them.
Off the plate. 1-2 now. Well, the Blue Jays 2 quick outs and then back-to-back 2-out walks. A wild pitch moves Solarte to second, and then Pillar gets a base hit, but it's right at Judge. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Boy, that was a pretty tough pitch. Gray was walking toward the dugout. He thought it was strike 3, and he might have been right.
I think they had him crossed up. He might have been looking for the breaking ball, and they threw a fastball. Now I got to take advantage of that.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Russell went after it. Gray gets on it, but a couple of strikeouts, and the Blue Jays leave the bases loaded.
That's because it was thrown by his 80-year-old mother, Sally. And Sally told me she has been bugging John for years to take part in the pregame tradition. She said it's been on her bucket list. In fact, last month on the occasion of her 80th birthday, she nudged her son once again and said, "Come on, I'm not getting any younger." So what was John Gibbons like as a young boy? Sally told me he was a hyperactive child, drove his 2 older siblings crazy. He was a very funny child, she said. He had a quick wit. It was so hard to keep a straight face when you were angry at him. As for the ups and downs of being a big league manager, Sally said, as a mother, it's hurtful to hear the criticism of her son, but she said, "Buck, he's a good person, a determined person, and an eternal optimist." I asked her if John gave her any advice on that first pitch. She said, quote, "Mom, don't do anything silly."
Kind of the same thing that he tells his players. Well, Gibby, he is something else, and it was wonderful for him to have his mom here. And John's father, William, was a colonel in the Air Force, and they moved around a lot. In fact, Gibby was born in Montana. But I think one of the unique links with John Gibbons is the fact that he started his Little League career in Goose Bay, Labrador, when they were living in Labrador.
Really?
Yep.
That's where he started playing baseball.
Yep. He said he was 7 years old and they lived in a duplex on base, and he said, I can remember during the wintertime the snow would cover up the first floor. But he started playing baseball in Goose Bay, Labrador. This is Miguel Andujar, the young third baseman. He gets jammed and they have broken his bat.
That just shows you the kind of movement that Sam Gaviglio is getting on that 2-seam fastball, running it in on those righties. That's the second bat that he's broken in 2 innings. Watch the movement hard inside. Andujar tries to fight it off and breaks his bat.
That pitch trying to work its way back to the outside corner, but just missed. Andujar leads all Major League rookies in extra base hits with 38. He ranks second in multi-hit games and hits. Well, he has been a great addition to this ball club.
Yeah, it took an injury also for him to get his chance this season. The whole idea was for him to go down to the minor leagues, play down in the minor leagues for another year, hone his skills as Brandon Drury would play third base. Drury got injured early on. They brought Andujar back up. Well, he's going to get some votes now for Rookie of the Year.
Oh, you bet he is. You know what? How about that? Aaron Judge was Rookie of the Year last year, and Andujar is going to be in the running this year
with his teammate
Gleyber Torres. And to me, that's how you put together long-term success. Bring those guys to the big leagues and have them play as rookies. Remember, the Dodgers had all those Rookies of the Year in a row. The Oakland A's did the same. And now the Yankees are on the verge of possibly going back-to-back with Rookies of the Year.
They're your guys, meaning you drafted them, you developed them, and you brought them to the big leagues to help the big league team. Probably won in the minor leagues together. You established that winning attitude in the minor leagues.
The breaking ball for Gaviglio. That's his third strikeout already.
After all those fastballs inside, there goes the slider off the plate for the strikeout. The Super Slow-Mo is brought to you by the Samsung S9 and S9 Plus. The camera reimagined. Available now. Sam Gaviglio's got that slider working. It's on the plate and then it's off.
And there's that fastball for a strike, running away from Greg Bird. Bird batting right at 200 for the season. Well, he has battled numerous injuries over his young career, and since he's most recently come off the disabled list, he hasn't really been swinging the bat the way they had hoped.
He's dangerous, though.
This is high and deep to center. Pilar at the track, at the wall, jumps, and what's new? Kevin Pilar timed it perfectly. He goes up on the wall, and not quite as dramatic as the one he caught off the bat of Nick Castellanos, but a very good catch once again.
The timing was perfect. You can see they're shading him a little bit towards left field. He got a great turn and a great break. Looks to see where that fence is, has a great feel for it, and then times the leap perfectly as the ball settles into his glove and he crashes into the wall. If it stays in the park, he's got an outstanding chance of catching it.
I tell you what, he sure has. And this is another great catch for Kevin Pilar. Another one added to the highlight reel. Had an interesting conversation about his favorite catches and the catches that he likes. Well, Lois is in the house. Superman, we know where he is. But Kevin said, you know, I like going to my right to catch those balls because I can catapult myself up on the fence with my right hand and use the backhand. He said this side, the glove side, is a little more challenging because you can't reach for the fence with your glove. You have to keep it in a position to make the catch.
And your body takes all the collision with the wall like it did right there. But he'd gladly trade that in for another highlight reel type of catch.
Well, he is a pitcher's dream out there in center. Austin Romine now with a full count with 2 outs. Romine, of course, backs up Gary Sanchez when Sanchez is healthy, but currently he's on the DL, and they really don't expect him back after the All-Star break. Ball moved so much it was low. Russell Martin thought it was a pretty good pitch, but that's another walk. 2 now by Gaviglio. So he has 3 strikeouts and 2 walks through 8 batters so far in this game. Neil Walker, the number 9 hitter, playing at second base.
Yankees made a roster move today to bring up another infielder, that Gleyber Torres, after he went on the disabled list. Tyler Wade has joined the team, and we might see him a little bit at second base. He was here earlier this season with the big league team.
Aaron Boone even suggested we might see Brandon Drury at second base against the 2 left-handers, Happ and Barucki, in this series. So he's already thinking about some of the options he has now that Drury is back with him. Drury naturally a third baseman. 0-1 to Walker. And Andujar had some problems with migraine headaches, and then he had some vision problems. Took him a while to get right, but he's back with the team now.
You know, I mentioned that there are just 3 players that the Blue Jays are going to shift. There it is right there. Hicks, Bird, and Neil Walker. StatCast powered by AWS. These are the 3 hitters, the left-handed hitters they feel against Sam Gaviglio. They're going to pull the ball on the ground, so they're going to shift on him. That's Solarte, the third baseman, out at second.
There's one pulled right to the first baseman, right on cue. So the Yankees get a 2-out walk. They leave a base runner. Once again, it's Kevin Pillar putting on a show in center. He takes away extra bases from Greg Bird, going high on the wall, 400 feet away from home. The Red Sox in Kansas City take on the Royals. It all starts at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. David Price will be on the mound for the Bo Sox. He's 9-6. He'll be opposed by young right-hander Brad Keller, who is 2-3 with a 209 earned run average. So basically a doubleheader. Blue Jays and Yankees in the afternoon. Red Sox and Royals at night. It is Margaritaville here in Rogers Center tonight. That's why they're wearing the leis and the parrot shirts. A lot of pregame festivities, and the folks were given those Blue Jays bucket hats as they entered the game. Sonny Gray pitched out of a bases loaded situation in the first, but basically he pitched his way into that situation.
Yeah, he pitched his way. 2 very quick outs, a strikeout, then a ground out, and then consecutive walks, being very careful with Solarte and Smoak, and then the hit by Pillar. Looked like the Blue Jays were going to score a run, but they had to hold the runner at third base, and then a strikeout. So all told, 26 pitches in the first inning. It looked like it was going to be like a 12-pitch first inning before he got a little wild.
Struck out Granderson and got Teoscar to ground out to third. Grichuk with a 3-0 count, taking all the way. Sonny Gray, for his career in the regular season, 4-3 against the Blue Jays, 1-1 as a Yankee. Pulled fair just inside the line at third base, up against the wall. Gardner plays it well. He's got an accurate arm, but this one is offline, and Grichuk has a leadoff double.
The extra base hits are starting to come off of Randall Grichuk's bat. He's got tremendous bat speed, a quick bat, and if you try and throw a 3-1 fastball inside, be prepared for this. Over the bag and down the left field line. Brett Gardner's got 4 outfield assists, and you're right, Buck. He's got a very accurate arm, and he had a shot if that was on line, but it was just offline a little bit. There's the ball over the bag. And a good start for the Jays here in the second.
Diaz with a good at bat. Boy, he did that on purpose, and he is a pull hitter. But he hits the ball to the second baseman to move the runner up. Very productive AB for the shortstop, Aledmus Diaz.
Kept his hands back. The body started to go, but the hands stayed back, and then the barrel stayed lagged. It lagged behind. That helped him to hit behind the ball, hit it to the right side of the infield. Watch how the bat drags just a little bit. The inside out swing sends that runner to third base.
Devin Travis with the infield in. Ball one. We mentioned the Blue Jays have to take advantage of every opportunity they're presented, and after the leadoff double, Diaz moves Grichuk to third with the ground out. Now Travis has to cash him in. Good take. Two and 0. Base hit up the middle. Travis shattered his bat, but Grichuk comes in to score the first run of the game. The leadoff double cashed in by Devin Travis, who picks up his 18th RBI of the season.
But let's don't forget about the at-bat by Diaz. There has to be some kind of stat to reward a player helping his team score that run. Leadoff double by Grichuk. He gives himself up, gets him over to third base, making Devin Travis' job a little bit easier. You got the infield in. It doesn't take much. Even if you get sawed off like he did right here, that front door cutter, sawed off, but he gets it into the outfield for another base hit and an RBI.
Back to the top of the order, Curtis Granderson, strikeout victim his first time up. Strikeout on a curveball. The Blue Jays have a 1-0 lead. Quick throw to first, but Travis is back in safety. The Yankees lead the season series 7-3. The Blue Jays have won each of the last 3 season series, going back to 2015. But this year they're going to have to scramble, as the Yankees have taken 7 of the first 10.
And they've won the last 4 against the Blue Jays in convincing style, outscoring them 6-1 on average over the last 4 games.
Granderson takes a strike. It's 0-2. Bounced in the dirt. Travis read it well. He'll move up. That's the second wild pitch charged to Sonny Gray. Devin Travis, credit him for being on his toes, because as soon as that ball hit the dirt, he was on his way to second.
You can see the flight of the ball when you're over at first base. It's a breaking ball, and you see that thing going to bounce in front of home plate, just take off. That's what Devin did. You take a chance where that catcher can't find the ball, read where it's at, and come up throwing, and he makes it easily.
Now the situation for Granderson. He's batting with a runner in scoring position.
He took a couple of shots in batting practice, hitting the ball the other way. He knows the Yankees are going to shift on him, put 3 infielders on the right side of the infield. He's got the whole left side to himself if he wants it.
Pulled foul. Well, Romine, he's going to go out and have a chat here with Sonny Gray. An early mound visit, but the catcher saw something that he wanted to talk over with his pitcher.
He might have seen the runner at second base give a location, doing something different that they're used to seeing. So right away, as soon as that ball was fouled, he went out there to talk to him.
Yeah, it was an inside pitch, and Granderson got to it fairly easily. Another inside slider there, fouled off. 2-2 still. You know, everybody in baseball is looking for an advantage, and I have no problem with it as long as it's on the field. Players will look for catcher setting up early. Players will try to steal the signs from the catcher. When you have problems is when teams are doing it electronically. Of course, the Red Sox, they got dinged for that a couple years ago with a watch on the bench, and there was somebody giving them signs, and you know, all of that nonsense. But there's so much video in the game nowadays. I mean, if you sit in there, you can decipher signs in a heartbeat. But as long as you keep it on the field, I have no problem with it. It's part of the game.
Yeah, you sit in there and watch our broadcast, and you see this shot right here. You can clearly look right in there and see what the signs are.
Base hit for Granderson. Travis is around third. He's going to score, and the Blue Jays will take a 2-0 lead. Granderson got that hanging breaking ball and ripped it to right. He beat the shift.
He beat the shift against the Mets with a double down the right field line. That was a big hit when the Blue Jays came back to win that game. They take advantage of the wild pitch. Hangs a curveball right over the middle of the plate. And Curtis knocks it over the first baseman's head into right field. That's a single to score the inning's second run.
All of a sudden, after Sonny Gray started first two batters off throwing first pitch strikes, he's fallen behind this inning, and it's created problems for him. Oscar Hernandez, the left fielder. Granderson, he hasn't run much this season. He has a steal in 3 attempts. Outside. 2 balls and a strike to Hernandez. Teoscar, he likes Yankee pitching. He has 6 career home runs in 12 games against New York.
Bright lights. The bright lights of the Yankees in town. It brings out the best of Teoscar.
Right on the outside corner. It was up, but in a tough spot. Now it's 2-2. Still just 1 out. And Grichuk got it started with a leadoff double. Devin Travis knocked him in. And now Travis scores on Granderson's single. 2 away on the strikeout. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. That's the second time that's happened at Citi Field, where that bullpen gate has not been locked, and before the ball went through there and they pushed right through it. But
so did the fielder, right?
Somebody's got to pay attention to that. They need a gatekeeper. And ever Solarte drew a 2-out walk his first time up. Solarte leads the Blue Jays in hits with 82, home runs with 16, and RBIs with 48. He's just 2 off his career high.
Let's think about that too. When they acquired him, he didn't have a quote place to play. He was going to be one of those super utility type of players. Shortstop, second base, third base.
There's a base hit to center field. Granderson will move up to second. He'll stop there. Solarte, he's got a base hit.
And injuries gave him a chance to play regularly, play every day, and he has delivered for the Blue Jays. What a bargain. Picked him up for a minor leaguer. That pitch down and away. It's starting to go away, but it goes right to his barrel. And he rips it to center field.
4 hits in the inning for the Blue Jays. They've already scored 2 runs. There are 2 outs now for Justin Smoak. Smoak had a good look at Gray his first time up. He walked on a full count pitch inside off the plate. He's got a pretty good idea what to look for in this at bat.
Well, you were right. You said he knows what to look for this time up with a couple of runners on base. It looked like an off-speed pitch from Sonny Gray, and he was all over it. 3 more runs for the Jays. It's a 5-run inning. Justin Smoak is heating up. He was telling me the other day, when I start to get ready, I got to be ready to hit any pitch at any time. He recognized that breaking ball, weighted back, and hit it hard.
Smokey's 3rd home run on this homestand. And that was a pretty swing.
Yeah, breaking ball. Recognizes it, thigh high. And that one is way out of here.
Kevin Pillar got hit by a pitch somewhere around his hand. So he'll go to first base. Pillar had a base hit his first time up. Larry Rothschild, the pitching coach, making a slow walk to the mound. Sonny Gray was acquired last July in a trade with the Oakland A's, and they had hoped that he would be the pitcher he was with Oakland, but so far it hasn't been the case.
They gave up a lot to get him. A 342 average, 44 games won for Oakland in 114 games. An excellent whip. It hasn't been the same since he's gone to New York. He's got a losing record, an ERA approaching 5. They gave up 3 top prospects out of their organization to acquire Sonny Gray to get him over the hump. But hasn't happened yet for him. Again, they've shown glimpses of it. There's a 2-seamer that's going to hit Pillar in the forearm. He's shown glimpses, but then there's times like this.
Yeah, he pitched very well for Oakland on a winning ball club, and he pitched well in the postseason for Oakland, and that's what the Yankees were banking on when they made that trade.
They gave up a lot to get him.
So Kevin Pillar's at first. Russell Martin will be the 9th Blue Jay to bat this inning. The Yankees gave up 3 top prospects. Dustin Fowler, their 4th prospect. Julio Mateo, their 8th prospects, and James Caprillion, their 12th prospect. But Fowler and Caprillion were both hurt, out for the season.
That was last year. They're playing this year. Fowler's helping the big league team.
Fowler is 23, Mateo is 23, and Caprillion turned 24 in March. They're young, good high-level prospects. So Martin takes high for ball 3. It's 3-0.
Last time on this mound, Sonny Gray threw his best game of the season.
8 innings of 2-hit ball, no runs.
8 strikeouts, a season high. That's David Hale now starting to get loose.
There's a strike. It's now 3-1 to Martin. Russell struck out to end the bottom of the first. Pilar's at first. The Blue Jays have scored 5 runs here in the second. There goes Pilar. Cut on and missed. Throw to second, not nearly in time. Kevin Pilar picks up his 11th stolen base of the season, and he's in scoring position.
Classic example of a pitcher concentrating on that batter with 2 outs, trying to get in, take off. He gets a great jump and he steals it easily. Got that pad on that left hand to protect his hand as he goes sliding into the base.
Martin gets a hanging breaking ball and fouls it back. Yeah, you'll see those base stealers wear that mitten on their left hand. Mike Trout wears the same type of mitten, and it's to protect the thumb. You can see there's no thumb on that mitten. So when the base runners hit that bag at second, oftentimes they'll tear up that thumb ligament. Not the case with that mitten on it. Breaking ball, and Martin strikes out for a second time, but the Blue Jays send 9 men to the plate and score 5 runs. A big swing in the inning. Justin Smoak, a 3-run home run on a curveball, his 12th of the season, and the Blue Jays have a 5-0 lead.
Sports on the go and on every screen. Go to snnow.ca and sign in with your TV provider. Details will start watching today.
Thank you very much, Hazel. And boy, that would have been something to watch. That last inning, the Blue Jays scoring 5 runs, and Justin Smoak hitting a 3-run home run, the highlight of the inning. But Randall Grichuk got us started with a leadoff double. Here's the Yankees leadoff man, Brett Gardner.
You know, if the Blue Jays go ahead and win this game, go on to win this game, and put that big inning together, I think everybody's going to forget about the great at bat by Aledmys Diaz. Let's don't forget about that after that leadoff double. Good team baseball.
You know, what's really encouraging about that at bat is when you're losing like the Blue Jays are, those things get lost. It's easy to forget about them, but boy, it certainly had a big impact in that 5-run inning. They brought the infield in. Devin Travis then broke a bat and got a base hit because the infield was drawn in. You know, really changed the whole inning.
What you hope for, there's another good 2-seamer that comes over the plate. what you hope for if you're Aledmys Diaz, you hope your teammate does that for you and give you a chance to drive in a run with from third base with less than 2 outs. You give up yourself, and now you hope your teammate will do the same, which they will.
And Diaz has been hitting in tough luck. He's hit a lot of balls hard lately, but not many of them have dropped. Gardner will be out 3 unassisted on the ground down. Sam Gaviglio is making his 5th start here at Rogers Center. This is his 9th start overall, but boy, he has been impressive pitching at home here at Rogers Center.
Yeah, it's been Detroit the last time out, 7 innings, 3 earned runs. Washington, he gave up 2 earned runs in that start. And then the great Yankees start that we talked about earlier, and then Oakland. Runners in scoring position. He's given up 4 hits all season long here at home. It's been a pleasant surprise. He really has. They acquired him from the Royals, excuse me, right at the end of spring training.
March 21st. Aaron Judge struck out his first time up. Gaviglio made 5 starts in AAA Buffalo before coming up with the Blue Jays. His first 2 appearances were both pitching out of the bullpen. There's a strike. 2-1 now. Gaviglio made his first appearance on May 11th against Boston. Entered the game in the 10th inning, pitching in relief. Two and two now.
He came in, I remember that relief appearance, 3 innings. I mean, he was dealing. Say, hey, who's this guy who's working so fast and throwing a lot of strikes? He might be a pretty good starter.
Gaviglio starts that ball off the plate, and he's got a lot of movement. It almost came back for a strike, but now it's a full count. That ball got away, and
they're ruling at it.
They call Judge for the swing. Martin was wise enough to get the ball and throw to first on appeal down to the first base umpire. Judge is called for the swing, and he strikes out for a second time.
As a hitter, all you ask for is a quick call, and that's exactly what they get from Andy Fletcher. Fastball runs up, and the umpire said right away, hey, you swung.
The Judge tried to check his swing, but this goes all the way down to the backstop. Russell Martin got on it quickly, sensing that Judge might be called for the swing.
Yeah, he hustled on that one and threw it down to first base to record the out.
Aaron Hicks batting with 2 outs and nobody on. Hicks was retired on a nice defensive play by Devin Travis. Travis knocked it down in the outfield and threw to first to record the second out of the inning. He was playing in the shift as he is now. In that first appearance, Gaviglio was the winning pitcher in extra innings as Luke Maile hit a 2-run walk-off home run off Brian Johnson.
From the Red Sox.
High breaking ball fouled into the seats. The Blue Jays begin play tonight 40-46, while the Yankees are 56-28. But the last thing you want to do as a team is be a doormat. You don't want the Yankees to come in here and run roughshod over you. This ball is hit high and deep to right, and that ball is gone. Aaron Hicks, his 6th home run in his last 9 games. He has been on fire for the season. That's home run number 16 for Hicks.
And that sets a new career high in home runs for Aaron Hicks, his 16th. 5 home runs in his last 5 games now. And that was a bullet to right center field. He got him earlier to swing at a breaking ball. That's a high sinker that stays up.
So the Yankees are on the board. It's now 5-1 Blue Jays. Giancarlo Stanton drew a walk his first time up. Goes after that high pitch. The Yankees, with Hicks hitting his 16th, came into this game with 5 players with 15 or more home runs before the All-Star break. That's impressive, but what's more impressive, it's the first time in Yankee history.
Now that's a mouthful. Anytime you say first time in Yankee history, you know it's something special.
They've had so many great teams with so many great hitters. There's strike 2. Aaron Hicks, since the 1st of June, is second in slugging in the American League. There's a good slider. Another strikeout for Gaviglio. 5 strikeouts, but Aaron Hicks puts the Yankees on the board. Just 2 innings, his shortest outing of the season. Last time out, he went 2 1/3. But he threw 62 pitches in 2 innings. He is charged with 5 earned runs on 6 hits. Justin Smoak hit a 3-run home run off of Gray, and he is out of the ballgame.
And into the game, David Hale. What a year it's been already for Hale. He was signed by the Yankees in January of this past season. Twins claimed him off waivers from the Yankees. Then they exposed him again, and the Yankees claimed him back as a free agent. That was just this past May. He's gotten into 3 games for the Blue Jays. Fastball, changeup, slider. That's what you're going to get from him. So a long man out of the pen. They're going to need it tonight after Sonny Gray just goes 2 innings.
Here's Randall Grichuk. He started the 5-run inning with a double. Goes after the first pitch, and it's a routine fly ball to right. So Hale has an out on 1 pitch. Yeah, when you look at Hale's transactions, and you mentioned it, he signed as a free agent, and he was granted a free agency from the Dodgers in November of 17. Signed with the Yankees in January this year. Selected off waivers by the Twins. Twins granted him free agency in April. Then he signed with the Yankees on May 1st. Was let go on May 18th and re-signed with the Yankees the next day.
And this is from a guy who was originally a 3rd-round draft pick of the Braves. He's got a nice little easy, effortless motion.
So this is the first season he's pitched since 16. He missed all of 17, did not pitch in the big leagues in 2017. He pitched in Colorado in 2016. Got into just 2 games, but he's been Atlanta, Colorado, now New York. Got into 1 game with Minnesota. He's bounced around. I know one thing, he's got some different equipment bags.
Different uniforms and equipment bags, colored spikes.
3-2 to Diaz. Hit hard deep to center field. Hicks is back at the track. He's got room.
The diverse Civic family, our most powerful lineup yet. Honda, proud fan since 1977 and the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Beautiful evening here in Toronto at the start of this weekend series. The Yankees are here for 3. Devin Travis had an RBI single last inning. He drove in the first run of that 5-run inning. Good sinking fastball. 0-2.
That was the pitch that he got a single on, a pitch that was inside. He fought it off, muscled it into center field, broke his bat. Got to keep scoring against the Yankees.
Yeah, you can't sit on your 5 runs. You've got to figure out a way to add to this because they are potent.
They are averaging 5 runs a game, the Yankees. That's what they're averaging. So you got to just keep trying to score if you can.
The Yankees as a team hit 250, but now they've hit 145 home runs, and they'll draw their walks. They have 332 walks coming into this game. They have 2 more walks tonight. That's first in the American League. Devin Travis draws a walk. That's the 3rd walk for the Blue Jays so far tonight.
Curtis Granderson's got to like this 3rd inning. This is his 3rd at bat. Got to like what he sees tonight, getting opportunities.
Curtis had an RBI single his last time up. First pitch changeup. Granderson had some terrific seasons with the Yankees. He began his career in New York in 2010, but in 2011 he was an all-star, won a Silver Slugger Award, finished 4th in the MVP voting. Ground ball, they play him in the shift. That's Gregorius, the shortstop. He throws out Granderson. Blue Jays leave a base runner. We'll go to the 4th. The Jays have a 5-1 lead over the Yankees.
It's the 34th annual Lady Jays Food Drive in support of Food Banks Canada. It is an honor to be standing next to the beautiful Morgan Happ, wife of veteran left-hander Jay Happ. And Morgan, how can fans help support you guys this weekend?
This Saturday and Sunday, fans can come out, bring non-perishable food items. They can purchase mystery bags, which have a signed hat by a coach, a player, or alumni, or they can make monetary donations.
Okay, so if I'm a fan and I want to help you guys, what types of food items are best to bring?
So non-perishable items that you would feed your family. Canned vegetables, meat alternatives like peanut butter, pasta, things like that.
All right, Morgan, great job by you and the Lady Jays. And Buck, the Lady Jays Food Drive is the club's longest standing community initiative, 34 years and counting, thanks to beautiful women like Morgan and the rest of the Lady Jays. Back to you.
Indeed, it's a terrific effort and one that the wives help out a lot. Pat, your wife Susan, my wife Arlene, they were involved in the food drive for many years. And the wives get very active, of course. Jay really has strong ties to this ball club and this community, and he and his wife both are very active in a lot of these charitable efforts. Gregorius, Devin Travis gloves it from his knees, throws him out. Couple of fine plays by the second baseman so far in this game.
Okay, the hard part about this play was getting to the ball, and he got to it. But the toughest part about this play was spinning and throwing accurately. When you do this, your head's spinning all over the place. To pick up the first baseman and then throw it accurately to record the out, that's the specialty of this play. That's a couple of times tonight that Devin has pulled that trick.
I've got 3 red stars in my book, 2 for Devin Travis, 1 for Kevin Pillar, and this is a fine play. Throws it right on the money to Smoak to retire Gregorius. It's a big play to start the inning.
Yeah, you don't want to give the Yankees any hint of trying to get back into this game. You want to cut off those potential base runners. They lead the American League by far in home runs. You start letting base runners on like that, base hit, a walk, and a home run, and they're right back in it.
Popped up. Russell Martin over near the Blue Jays dugout, and just a row out of play. Russell did a nice job. He went around that little cutout and got as close as possible to that pop-up.
And if he had about 2 more seconds, he would have climbed into the stands to try and make that catch. We've seen it before. You can see he's checking it out. He's got to deal with the ball bag and the bucket and the police officer down there. But it just landed in that first row.
One and 2 to Andujar. Another foul ball. Andujar got a lot of action this spring. He had 45 at bats with the Yankees, and he hit 4 home runs. So they had an idea that they had a special player, but I don't think they expected him to be this consistent.
Aaron Boone was telling us before the game today that he feels like Andujar is a middle of the order type of run producing bat for 12 years.
Solarte to his left. Fires in time. 2 ground ball outs for Gaviglio.
Take on any project with Home Hardware. Proud partner of the Toronto Blue Jays. Here's how.
Friday night baseball, and Blue Jays are off to a good start. They have a 5-1 lead over the Yankees. We're in the top of the 4th. This is the first baseman, Greg Bird. Bird hit the ball to center field that Kevin Pillar made a very good catch on back in the second inning. Pillar went high up on the wall once again to make a terrific catch to take extra bases away from Bird.
He's had to battle a lot of injuries his first few years in the big leagues. Was hurt again this year. Starting to get into shape, being able to play every day. He's got some talent.
Well, the Yankees have always done a great job of developing their own talent. We had a request into Stats Inc. that does our great stats, and we asked them about homegrown players, and the Yankees have 12 homegrown players on their roster. And that's how you build a core that can play consistent baseball over the years. It's just not a group that's going to be in and out. For comparison's sake, the Blue Jays have 5 homegrown players currently on their roster.
Pilar, Sanchez, Stroman. Okay. Loop. Yes, Aaron's been here a long time too. Who am I missing?
What did you say?
Sanchez, Stroman, Pilar, Loop. Who am I missing?
Loop's the longest tenured Blue Jay. And Greg Bird strikes out. 3 up, 3 down, and the Yankees go quietly in top of the 4th. Ryan Tepera is the other homegrown Blue Jay.
That's it.
Redeem your WestJet dollars to over 450 partner destinations around the globe. Join today at westjet.com/rewards. Bottom of the 4th for the Blue Jays. It'll be 2-3-4 in their lineup. Teoscar, Hernandez, Solarte, and Justin Smoak. David Hale pitched last inning. He had a 2-out walk and nothing more.
This is part of the bullpen that you don't see a lot of from the Yankees. They're really good at the back end. The jury, I think, is still out the front end here, the long men. Aaron Boone was telling us today, said the starters, they've done okay. They really haven't taken it to the next level yet, and they haven't seen what the front end of this bullpen can do. We'll find out tonight.
Well, Severino, everybody knows about him. He'll pitch tomorrow against Jay Happ. He's not a concern at all. CC Sabathia has pitched reasonably well, but after that, there are a lot of question marks. And Tanaka, who's going to come back and pitch on Tuesday in Baltimore. But Sabathia has made the transition from power pitcher to finesse pitcher very effectively. So they're okay with Severino and Sabathia, but after that, it's kind of a question mark. High throw. Hernandez is tagged out.
This is why you've got to give effort every single time down the line. I don't care who you are. Routine ground ball. And Andujar gets underneath it, throws it offline a little bit, but Greg Bird is there to snag it and apply the tag right on the hip of Hernandez as he goes by.
And there was Solarte. He has walked and singled. He scored a run in the second. Solarte made his major league debut with the Yankees in 2014. He got into 75 games. He had 254 with 6 homers and 31 RBIs. And then he went out to San Diego.
And that's where he developed his power. I mean, he doesn't get cheated at all. That one off the end of the bat, and it's fair.
And there's an error as Solarte's headed for second. He'll get there with a head-first slide. He brings a lot of energy for sure. That bat was shattered. He wasn't really sure where the ball was, but they play him in the shift. And by the time Andujar got to it, he had to rush his throw and made a bad throw.
Change up right off the end of the bat. It shatters his bat. Now he's got to look for the baseball. Where is it? He's not sure. I'm sure the whole bench was saying run. It's off the end of the bat. He finally finds where the ball is, hustles down to first base. That'll probably be an infield hit and another error on the third baseman on the throwing error, allowing him to go to second base. Another instance where the shift, over shifting like that, cost them a base runner.
Granderson Smoak with a base hit. Solarte will be stopped at third. Smoak is perfect. He has walked homered and now he's singled. Both he and Solarte have 2 hits and a walk so far in this game.
They've scored a couple of runs. Yankees shift again, and Smokey takes advantage of it. Inside out swing. Just one defender on the left side of the field to beat. And again, that ball hit on a couple of bounces to the outfielder. Solarte can't score. Now a chance for Pilar to knock him in.
Here's what you were talking about as far as the Blue Jays adding on runs. You got to keep adding on against anybody, but especially against the Yanks. Kevin Pilar takes the first pitch off the plate inside. Kevin singled in the first, was hit by a pitch and stole a base in the second. Popped up behind second base. Walker going out. Here comes Hicks. He makes the catch, and Solarte will hold at third. 2 outs. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Chris Sale hasn't even taken the mound yet. He's got a 4-0 lead. Here's Russell Martin. He struck out both times he's come to the plate. Ground ball just foul outside of third. That ball looked like it hit the chalk in front of the bag, but then kicked to the left and went foul.
Bill Welke, the crew chief, is down there at third base, and he was all over this right away. Called it foul. Looked like it had a shot, but clearly it hit the chalk and bounced foul. Blue Jays need to clutch up right here. 2 strikes, 2 outs, need a base hit.
Tough pitch. 1-2 now. Boy, he's keeping everything right down at the bottom of the strike zone, and Russell had to just kind of protect the bottom part of the zone, foul that ball off.
And he's challenging. He's challenging with some fastballs. He's got a slider and a changeup. I think, though, with 2 strikes, you got to throw the pitch that you can throw with the most accuracy, that you control the most. You don't want to make a mistake.
Came with a fastball, missed up and away. First time they've elevated a pitch to Martin in this at bat. Sam Gaviglio continues to pitch well here at Rogers Center. This is his 5th start at home. He has a 5-1 lead. He's allowed just 2 hits. Only run coming on the Aaron Hicks home run. Martin hits it on the ground. Gregorius flips to second. That'll end the inning. Blue Jays will strand a pair. We'll go to the 5th. The Blue Jays have a 5-1 lead. Time now for Blue Jays Central Update. Here is Jamie Campbell and Joe Siddle in the Samsung broadcast studio. '21, but boy, has he been a nice addition to this rotation for the Blue Jays.
How about that ERA for the starters? Right now, he's got the best ERA of the starters that the Blue Jays have used the most this year. And when he came over to Toronto, he said, all I wanted was a chance to pitch. And they sent him down to Buffalo. He pitched in spring training. He started the season with the AAA team. He got his innings in, and when he got hot, he came up here. Pitched, like you said, Buck, a couple of times out of the bullpen and then into the rotation because of some injuries, and it's been their best starter in terms of ERA. Very impressive.
Austin Romine, the catcher, takes the first pitch upstairs for a ball. Romine walked in his only at bat so far tonight. Ground ball through the left side into left field for a base hit. Leadoff single for Romine.
He didn't get the call on strike one, so he's got to come right back in there with a fastball. You're at the bottom of the order. You have to challenge these guys, so it's a fastball right there, and he squeezes it through the left side, just out of the reach of Diaz, the shortstop.
So Romine's aboard, the number 8 hitter. Here's the number 9 hitter, switch hitter Neil Walker. The video comes right back with a strike. I tell you one thing, he is not intimidated. He comes right at you. Works quickly, throws a lot of strikes. Gavilia was a freshman All-American at Oregon State. He was 10-1 as a freshman. That's pretty impressive pitching in Division I baseball. Oregon State won the College World Series this year. And Gavilia and Matt Boyd, the lefty for the Tigers, they were teammates at Oregon State.
And they were matched up against each other. Last time Gavilia pitched against the Tigers.
Ball into there, 2-1 now. Well, this is where you really have to focus on getting these outs. You don't want to put these bottom hitters on base ahead of the big bats in the top of the order.
That's why they have so many RBIs, the middle of that lineup. And we talked about that at the top of the show here about he did so well against the Yankees the last time because he really handled the middle of the lineup. Didn't give up a hit.
The Yankees and the Red Sox are the only teams in baseball that have 6 players with 40 or more RBIs. So you can't just say, okay, well, if I get Judge out, I'm going to beat the Yankees. If I get Stanton out, I'm going to beat the Yankees. No, they got big bats up and down the order.
2 of them right now are on the disabled list, but they're still a very dangerous offense.
Gary Sanchez and Gleyber Torres are both on the DL right now. The Red Sox, they too have 6 players with 40 or more. J.D. Martinez, Benintendi, Bogarts, Devers, Betts, and Moreland. Tough lineups. Three and 2 to Walker. Drilled to center field. Pillar's on the move. This ball is caught by Kevin Pillar. Romine went all the way to second. He'll have to hustle back in. Kevin Pillar's had an impact in this game with his glove dramatically already.
Another star right there. That saved extra bases and possibly a big inning. Playing straight away, reacts right off the crack of the bat and runs it down into center field. Never took his eye off that ball. Knew exactly where he was playing on his home turf. Runs it down. Romine went right back to second base and then had to go back to first base after he hauled it in center.
So 1 out now with Brett Gardner at the plate. Gardner singled and stole the base his first time up. He grounded out to first base in the 3rd. Superman is working tonight. Gardner's got good speed, but he's grounded into 5 double plays because he hits the ball so sharply.
And he can still run. That ball was called out of the strike zone. Looked like it crossed home plate. Now Gavilio's got to be very careful. 2-0 now instead of 1-1.
Line drive into center field. Pillar will play it on a couple of hops. Romine will stop at second. Brett Gardner has his second hit of the game.
Beauty Tone is the official paint of the Toronto Blue Jays. Only available at Home Hardware. Here's how.
Sam Gavilia has thrown 91 pitches, and with that, Walker goes to the mound, the pitching coach, and Joe Biagini is warming up for the Blue Jays.
Yeah, love to get him through these 5 innings with the lead so he has a chance to win it. But Biagini got up a hitter ago, and he's starting to warm up very quickly.
Gavilia and the Yankees starter Sonny Gray threw 127 pitches in 2.5 innings. So that's why we're in this situation now.
So after Gardner gets on, here's the guy who's hit the most home runs against the Blue Jays in the last couple seasons. Got to be careful.
Judge has struck out twice so far tonight. There are the numbers for Judge. 13 career home runs and a .305 batting average.
The next closest player to who have hit the most home runs against the Blue Jays, Wellington Castillo's hit 7 in the last 2 years. Judge has almost doubled that. I mean, that's how dangerous he's been. I think you got to keep the ball in on him right there so he can't extend his arms.
Well, the Yankee fans are in the house. Judge is in between right now. He's swinging at the balls and taking the strikes. He and Stanton, boy, what a dynamic duo. (5-1) Blue Jays. The Yankees threatening here in the top of the 5th. Chopped off home plate. Solarte can't make the play. All hands are safe. Romine, the base runner from second, kind of distracted Solarte. Looked like he made an adjustment, and then when he swiped at it, it went off the end of his glove.
Yeah, you've got to give that fielder a chance to field the ball. Watch the runner at second base. Look like they're going to meet at the same spot. Now the runner creates the base path, and he's got to give him a chance to field the ball. He gives him a chance, and it just doesn't come up for him. And he's going to be called for an error.
It's ruled an error on Solarte. So Hicks, who homered his last time up, bats with the bases loaded. First pitch strike from Gaviglio.
That home run that he hit last time up, his 10th home run that he's hit since June 14th. He is in some kind of hot streak right now.
Six homers in his last 9 games. Blue Jays need a ground ball. Russ Martin and Andy Fletcher, the home plate umpire, have not seen eye to eye on the strike zone. Martin's been in a ongoing conversation with the home plate umpire. Andy Fletcher's been around a long time, same for Russell Martin. Romine's at third. He singled. Gardner singled as well, and Judge had a chopped ball that was booted for an error. Breaking ball fouled off Martin's mask.
Breaking ball right off the face mask. He is seeing everything, just the way that he's approaching the ball. Hicks on everything.
Yankees trying to get back in this game. They trail by 4. Blue Jays have out hit the Yanks 8-4. Anxious time for the skipper. And everybody knows the Yankees, they score runs in bunches. We laid off a tough pitch. Hicks was acquired in a trade with the Minnesota Twins in November of 2015 for John Ryan Murphy, the catcher that they sent to Minnesota. Hicks had kind of fallen out of favor in Minnesota. But boy, he is a good-looking player. He is hitting third in the Yankee lineup.
They have a young player coming up, Byron Buxton, so he was available. And the Yankees are glad that he was available.
Now, bases loaded walk, and Hicks will pick up another RBI, and that's going to be it for Sam Gaviglio. Gaviglio goes 4 1/3, throws 101 pitches. And the Yankees, this is what they do. They will wear you down. Gaviglio walks 3. The last walk with the bases loaded, and it's a 5-2 game. So Sam Gaviglio out of the ball game. His club still leads it. Joe Biagini will come in and try to put out the fire here in the 5th. The Yankees on the 6th of June, but tonight a different story. He got an elevated pitch count, lost the strike zone, walked Aaron Hicks with the bases loaded. He's out of the game. Now Joe Biagini comes in.
And they need Joe to get a couple of outs here and leave it right where it's at. There's Joe's numbers in 21 games as a starter and a reliever. Much better as a reliever. Last time out 3 days ago against New York. He was one of those 7 relievers that worked in that game against the Mets. His task, retire Giancarlo Stanton. He hasn't done that in his career. Stanton is 2 for 2 against Biagini.
Bases loaded, 1 out. Five career grand slams for Stanton.
All the home runs that they have hit this year, the Yankees, they've had just 2 grand slams. Andujar and Gregorius.
Two and 0. Hicks homered in the 3rd. That gives the Yankees 145 home runs. Gardner has 2 hits. Judge reached on an error, and Hicks walked with the bases loaded. He's at first. Three and 0. The home plate umpire Andy Fletcher has had a very tight strike zone tonight. There's no question about that. He and Russell Martin have been discussing the strike zone all night long.
That's his reputation. He's got a reputation as a small strike zone, and now you can bet Giancarlo's got the green light.
Good movement on that fastball from Biagini. It's 3-1 now.
He's got that. He's got some movement down. He can also cut the ball and get movement away from the right-handers. That's why he's always had more ground balls than fly balls.
Goes after that high heater. It's a full count. Got it. Good fastball from Biagini. Came all the way back from 3-0 to strike out Stanton.
3-0 pitch was low. 3-2 pitch right on the corner, and it freezes Stanton. He swung at that one that was low, and he can't pull the trigger on this one. What a pitch. That's right on the corner.
Had plenty of the plate, so Biagini retires Stanton for the first time. D.D. Gregorius. Gregorius is 4 for 9 against Biagini, and he has 2 career Grand Slams, including one this season.
They play him right up the middle, the shortstop. They pulled him up the middle. Not a full-fledged shift to the right side, but he hits a lot of balls right back through the middle against right-handed pitching. So they have positioned that shortstop up the middle. That allows the third baseman to come off the line and try and cover up that left side of the infield. Joe's throwing hard. He is throwing hard. 95 with movement.
This is where he is best suited. Coming out of the pen.
Yep. Finish out the inning, maybe give you another one.
A ball and 2 strikes. Biagini trying to get out of this. Gregorius asked for time. Joe inherited the bases loaded with 1 out. Struck out Stanton, and he's ahead of Gregorius 1-2. Curveball. Biagini's got a great curveball. Russell called it with the runner at third, Gardner, aware that there's a possibility he could pounce it. He did, and Martin blocked it.
It's so good. You don't have to throw it for a strike to get a swing and miss. Just get it close.
Mentioned Gregorius is 4 for 9 against Biagini. Drive to left field. There's Hernandez, and Biagini, what a job he did. He came in with the bases loaded and 1 out. He struck out Stanton, gets Gregorius to end the inning. Saves 3 runs for Gaviglio.
Sports Community Partners. Welcome, everybody. And which IndyCar driver will ride away with a win in Iowa? It's the Iowa Corn 300 Sunday on Sportsnet 360. And Buck, a quick update on Ryan Tepera. He did some light tossing today for the first time since landing on the DL with right elbow inflammation. He threw roughly 25 pitches from 60 feet out. He said all went well. He feels good, but the true test will be in his recovery. How he feels tomorrow will dictate how he moves forward.
Well, it's good news to hear him throwing again, and he had to have that swelling go down in his elbow. Now you build it back up, and it'll depend on how often he can throw as to how quickly he will come back, obviously. David Hale. This is his third inning of relief. He's given up 2 hits, walked a batter, but has not allowed a run. Changeup and a good one. Randall Grichuk was the first batter that Hale faced. He got him to fly out to right. Changeup pulled well foul. That'll reach the second deck. The ball running inside. He was able to get to it to stay alive.
See why the Blue Jays need those extra runs? Last inning told you everything you needed to know. That was close.
Ground ball. Gregorius at short across the diamond. One away.
They left the bases loaded. They were one swing away from taking the lead. So you get a chance to get runners on base. You got to capitalize on it.
Melendez Diaz had a very good at bat in the second inning. A ground ball that moved Grichuk from second to third. He hit a ball hard in the third inning, but it was a fly ball to deep center field, caught for an out.
You know, if you're wondering about Hale as a long man out of the pen, how far can he go? He's worked as a starter in the minor leagues. He was up to 95, 105, 98 pitches. Those were his last 3 starts for their AAA team. So he's stretched out.
Another changeup popped up. Bird makes the catch. 2 outs. Time now for a look at Skyscraper, starring Dwayne Johnson.
Skyscraper in theaters and Real D 3D July 13th.
That's a skyscraper right there, the CN Tower. A lot of activity around Rogers Center, the aquarium's next door. CN Tower draws a lot of tourists to town, and the Yankees are here. 3-game series. Busy time here in Toronto. Devin Travis got everything going with an RBI single. Drives this one to right, but Aaron Judge is right there. 3 up, 3 down. David Hale, 3 good innings of relief so far tonight for New York. Will go to the 6th. The Blue Jays have a 5-2 lead.
For $82.99, watch every out-of-market regular season game live or on demand. Your subscription includes MLB At Bat Premium, allowing you to watch live baseball on your favorite supported devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv to take advantage of this very special offer. Buck.
Thank you very much, Hazel. A lot of good ball games going on. Canadian Nick Pivetta got knocked out of the game early in Pittsburgh tonight for the Phillies. He lasted just 2 2/3 innings. They're another team, and I believe is in the market for a starting pitcher. They have been linked to Cole Hamels of the Texas Rangers.
You know what they have to do? They have to decide if they're in or if they're out. Do you want to go for it? Do you got a chance? And then at what cost?
Andujar bounces it to third. Solarte throws him out. One pitch for Biagini, gets it out.
You know, if the cost is too high, maybe it doesn't make any sense to go after the guys.
I tell you what, if I'm the Phillies, I've got to move up the schedule because nobody expected them to be a game behind the Braves in second place in the East. Atlanta, we'll see them next week. They're 49-37, a game ahead of Philadelphia. Washington is 500. They're 6 games back. Tell you what, you know what race is getting very interesting?
The wild card race.
National League West.
Oh, and the national, yeah.
How about that? The Dodgers and the Diamondbacks are tied. Colorado's 3.5 back. Giants are 3.5 back. Giants have come back.
So they got 4 out of the 5 teams separated by 3.5 games out there.
There's a high fly ball to center. Pilar now back near the track. That ball carried on him. It looked like a routine fly ball. It pushed him all the way to the wall in center. He makes another catch off the bat of Greg Bird.
I don't think he saw it, Buck, initially off the bat. He saw the swing, didn't see the ball, went to where he thought it was, and then saw it. Watch him out in the outfield. See, and now he sees it. Now he starts backpedaling. Now really picks it up. The sky is the same color as the baseball right now, and Joe appreciates that.
You are 100% correct. That's what Pilar was looking up into to find the baseball. He didn't see it initially. He reacted to the swing and said, oh, he took a good swing. I better back up. And then he finally located it. Austin Romine, the catcher, has walked, singled, and scored a run. Joe Biagini did a heck of a job of coming into the game with 1 out and the bases loaded. He struck out Stanton and then got Gregorius to line out to strand 3 Yankee base runners.
Yeah, this is his best role right here. Little spurts. You don't have to think about, okay, I got to get through 6 or 7 innings, maybe 3 times through the lineup. I need different pitches to do that. He can just come in, throw it 95 miles an hour like he is, get the movement, get the ground balls. There's a good hard 2-seamer, 94 miles an hour. And you mentioned he's got a great curveball. Oh, and Luke next up for the Blue Jays.
Romine, the catcher behind Biagini, a ball and 2 strikes, 2 outs. Looked like a high cutter. Blue Jays, of course, had an off day yesterday, so the bullpen's a little bit recharged. Pat mentioned that game on Tuesday when Marco Estrada had to leave with an injury after recording just 1 out. Fastball, another close pitch. Seven relievers pitched on Tuesday. Marco Estrada left with a gluteus maximus strain, glute muscle. 3-2.
Yeah, you'd love to put away these hitters in a little bit faster motion. Too many pitches.
Popped up on the infield. Smoak coming all the way in near home makes the catch. So Biagini gets out of it. 3 up, 3 down. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th. The Blue Jays have a 3-run lead. Signed JD Martinez as a free agent. Took them a long time to make up their mind, but you see the leaders in the American League: Martinez, Judge, Ramirez, Trout, and Lindor.
Pretty impressive. He's just what they needed. You know what else they needed? They needed a right-handed hitting first baseman. They got it in Steve Pearce. Pearce is 2 for 2 tonight.
Yeah,
that was a good pickup for the Red Sox.
Curtis Granderson takes it outside. David Hale in his 4th inning of relief. He's given up 2 singles, walked a batter, but has not allowed the Blue Jays to score. They haven't been able to add on to their 5-run 2nd inning. Line drive to right at Judge, almost in his tracks.
At the Honda checkered flag event, the real victory lap is the drive home.
Jay's shop here at Rogers Center always busy. Fans want to get the latest and best Blue Jays memorabilia. Off the end of the bat, that's going to hang up for Aaron Hicks. 2 quick outs here for the Yankees in the bottom of the 6th.
I mentioned that David Hale started games in the minor leagues. His last outing in the minor leagues was June 26th. He threw 95 pitches for their AAA team, so he's stretched out. What a job he's done to settle this game down for the Yankees.
Well, and this is exactly the definition of a long man. Your team gets down early, the starter gets knocked out of the game, you bring one guy in and he gives you 4 or 5, maybe even 6 innings, saving the rest of your bullpen for the remaining 2 games of this series. There aren't many long men in baseball anymore.
True long men, where their job is 4 or 5 innings when the starter gets knocked out. It's all 1 inning relievers or specialists. Setup men, closers.
Ball and a strike to Solarte. Chases that off-speed pitch. Hales had a good changeup. Yankees bullpen is quiet. Larry Rothschild, the longtime pitching coach, has to be thrilled with what he's getting from his reliever. Line drive off the glove of Gregorius that goes into center. Looked like Gregorius got a piece of it, but Solarte picks up his third hit of the ball game.
That's twice now they've tried to throw him a changeup, and he's all over it. Changeup down and away, line drive, stroke. Same type of stroke, line drive. Gregorius is there, it's off his glove. That's how you weight back on that low change.
Solarte's 3 for 3 with a walk. Smoak at the plate 2 for 2 with a walk. Hits this one off the end of the bat. Walker from the outfield will go to first, and that'll end the inning. Blue Jays get a hit. They leave a base runner. We've played 6. Blue Jays lead the Yankees 5-2. Baseball partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. Blue Jays scored 5 runs in the second. They've gotten some great defense from Evan Travis and Kevin Pillar. Joe Biagini had a great outing, an inning and 2/3, no runs, no hits, and now he'll turn things over to Aaron Luke.
This is game number 40 for Aaron this season. That'll put him in the top 10 in games in the American League. But he's only thrown 29 2/3 innings. Lefty specialist. 40 games, his ERA under 4 last time out. That was against the Mets, back-to-back days. The 3rd and 4th of this month. An inning and 2/3. All he gave up were a couple of hits in that inning and 2/3.
So he'll turn the switch hitter Neil Walker around about from the right side and gets ahead with a strike. Walker 0 for 2. Changeup off the plate, ball and a strike.
These are important at bats, I think, for Aaron Luke. You got to get these guys out before the big home run hitters start to come up.
2-2 now. Loup facing his first batter, Neil Walker. Next batter, Brett Gardner, left-handed hitter. And then Aaron Judge, Aaron Hicks, and Giancarlo Stanton. So Loup's going to face 2 batters in this inning. The starter for the Blue Jays, Sam Gaviglio, was staked to a 5-0 lead, but he couldn't close out the Yankees in the 5th. He goes 4 1/3, gives up 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 walks and 6 strikeouts.
No decision for Gaviglio. Couldn't finish those 5 innings. Six strikeouts, though. I mean, he had that 2-seamer really working hard, burning in there, and a breaking ball. Just could not finish that 5th inning, so he can't qualify for the W.
Walker's putting up quite a fight here. He's fouled off a couple tough pitches from Aaron Loup. Russell Martin took that one off the mask. We're in the 7th. Walker leading off for New York. He's the number 9 hitter. Then the big bats. Gardner's 2 for 3. Judge and then Hicks. Another foul back. Aaron Judge, a couple of strikeouts, and he reached on an error in the 5th. Aaron Hicks has homered and drawn a bases loaded walk. Loup has left a lot of pitches out over the middle of the plate, and Walker hasn't been able to square them up.
This is going to be pitch number 10 of this at bat. This is what the Yankees do. They really grind you down, don't they? Make you throw a lot of pitches, foul off a lot of pitches, make you work to get them out.
3-2. Saw Brett Gardner waiting on deck. The Yankees, they've lost 4 of their last 6 road games. Overall for the season, they are 23-15 on the road. This one is fouled again. We mentioned at the start of this game, the Yankees are on an 11-game road trip. This is first of 11 games before the All-Star break, all on the road for Aaron Boone and the Yankees. This will be the 12th pitch of the at-bat. And Russell Martin can't hang on. That's the 8th foul ball that Walker has had in this at-bat.
Pitch number 12. You're mentioning about the road trip. They lost an off day, didn't they? Did they have to make a game up, a doubleheader?
They have a doubleheader in Baltimore.
Baltimore.
That'll be Monday.
2, 3, 4. That's a 5-game series now instead of a 4-game series.
And Walker wins that battle. He draws the leadoff walk.
Super Slow-Mo Cam. Brought to you by Samsung Galaxy S9 and S9 Plus. The camera reimagined. Available now.
So here's Brett Gardner, lefty on lefty. Gardner is 2 for 3. Pair of singles, both those singles going to center.
Loup has had a lot of success against Brett Gardner in his career. Some of Gardner's best games have been against the Blue Jays, but not against Aaron Loup.
Loup gets ahead quickly, 0-2.
You can see how he can be tough on Gardner or any lefty, the way he throws.
Crossfire delivery, good breaking ball. Gardner foul tips it. Martin hangs on. Brett Gardner is now 2 for 17 against Hernandez. And that'll do it. So John Gibbons already out of the dugout. Hoop gets Gardner first out of the inning. Now Aaron Judge is the batter, and Sun Won Oh, the hard-throwing righty, will come into the ball game. So far tonight.
There are the numbers for 41st game. Been pitching much better, and he has to against this guy. He has been tough all season long. Tonight, they have fed him breaking balls off the plate. Struck out his first time up against Gaviglio, and then Sam got him on the check swing on that running fastball. The next time up, he was then got on an error from Solarte, the third baseman, in the 5th inning when they scored, when they scored a run.
Judge goes after that first pitch and fouls it straight back. Aaron Judge has 24 home runs. He's only faced O once. He is 1 for 1 against O. Whenever the Blue Jays have a guy that can locate his fastball, they try to pitch Judge up. Obviously, he's 6'7", big guy, can really cover the plate. So you try to crowd him. They missed, but got the strike.
Crowd him up or crowd him up and in. He has that ability to go down and get the ball and just loft it into the air. And his fly balls just go farther than everybody else.
Another fastball fouled back. You could see the target by Martin was right around the letters of Judge. If you're going to throw him a breaking ball, you can't throw it in the strike zone with 2 strikes. You have to start it in the strike zone and break it out of the zone.
It starts on the corner. Gaviglio threw that in the 1st inning, the slider with 2 strikes. It starts on the corner and then it goes out of the strike zone. So you have to offer at it. You see it out of his hand, you think it's going to be on the plate, and then it's off the plate. Russell setting up off the corner, and they got Aaron Judge for the 3rd time.
Judge is 0 for 4. Aaron Hicks There's a curveball. You don't see O throw a lot of them, but it's a pitch he will use from time to time. Hicks hit his 16th home run of the season in the 3rd inning. That's a new career high for Hicks. And we're not even at the All-Star break.
He tied that last season with 15 home runs. He and Nolan Arenado have the most home runs in baseball since June the 1st. They each have 10.
Got a good cut at that pitch and fouls it off. Joe Biagini did a good job middle of an inning when he came in the 5th with the bases loaded and just 1 out. He stranded the bases loaded with a strikeout and a lineout. O's trying to strand the base runner at first. Aaron Loup walked Neil Walker to start the inning. Then Loup struck out Gardner. Now O has struck out Judge.
His breaking ball sharper now. It's the best that he has thrown this season over his last 5, 6, 8 games. He is really racking up the strikeouts.
His command has really improved. You can see all those pitches. He's throwing them right on the corner away from Hicks's power.
That has helped. He hasn't thrown more than an inning in his last 7 outings. And in 3 of those, he has struck out the side 3 times.
Lined down the left side, slices foul. A.J. Cole loosening up. Looks like he is ready, standing by. He might be coming into the game. David Hale, 4 quality innings of relief. Ground ball, Smoak. He'll step on the bag and that'll end the inning. Oh, does a good job. He strands an inherited base runner. Go to the bottom of the 7th. The Blue Jays maintain their lead.
Blue Jays take on the Yankees in the series finale at 1:07 p.m. Eastern. Join us outside gates 5 and 10 for inflatables, activities, and lots of fun. After the game, kids 14 and under can run the bases just like the pros. For tickets, as always, visit BlueJays.com.
Thank you very much, Hazel. You can see the blaze the fans are wearing. That's part of the Margaritaville night here at Rogers Center. Kevin Pillar goes after the first pitch and pops out to the first baseman. David Hale's still in the ball game. He's still pumping those strikes. He has shut out the Blue Jays through 4 innings.
He's only thrown 56 pitches. Mentioned that the last time he started a game down in the minor leagues, he threw right around 100. I think it was 95 pitches. So he is stretched out, and right now he's keeping him in the game.
Russell barely got out of the way of that one.
Two-seamer, he gets underneath it and he ducks out of the way just in time. That is an uneasy feeling.
Just fortunate that it missed him because he was late getting out of the way. 2-0 now. Russell is 0 for 3 so far. Change up for a strike. High fly ball into right. Judge near the foul line makes the catch. Martin's retired. John Axford loosening up for the Blue Jays. Giancarlo Stanton is the leadoff man for the Yankees in the top of the 8th. Then Gregorius and Andujar. John Gibbons always likes power arms like Axford to face the big bats. Randall Grichuk at the leadoff double in the second. That sparked a 5-run inning.
Didn't mean to.
Now he tried to check and that ball ran in on his hands.
Upset with himself because he knew that ball was inside.
This is going to be out of play into the seats. First of 3 against the Yankees. Yankees and the Red Sox, they've been switching places. First place, second place, first place, second place, going back and forth. The Yankees and Red Sox, they have exchanged the lead 12 times since May 7th. They are so evenly matched.
Separated by 1 game today. Heading into action today. The winner gets the division, the loser gets the wild card. And we know about that wild card.
David Hale, a terrific relief outing. 5 in the books for Hale. We'll go to the 8th. John Axford coming on. all-star lineup.
Justin Smoak with a couple of runners on are going to get this breaking ball out over the middle of the plate and just tattoo it to right field. He's in a nice little home run groove right now. This long ball accounting for 3 runs for the Blue Jays, his 12th home run of the season. Tonight's drive of the game brought to you by Justin Smoak and that 3-run home run. That was the capper to that 5-run second inning for the Blue Jays.
Smoak is 2 for 3 tonight. He and Solarte have teamed up for 5 of the 9 Blue Jay hits. John Axford comes into the ballgame to start the top of the 8th inning. It'll be Stanton, Gregorius, and Andujar for New York.
Axe has been throwing the ball really well lately. That hard sinking fastball has really worked for him. He's 2-1. He also has 4 holds this season. This is game number 37 for the big right-hander.
So a wicked breaking ball there.
Last time out against the Mets, he was pounding it with that hard sinker and curveball. He got 5 outs, 3 of them via the strikeout.
Makes quick work of Giancarlo Stanton. Stanton strikes out for a 3rd time. He and Judge have struck out 6 times tonight.
Well, when you jump ahead, you can go upstairs. High fastball does the trick. Joe Biagini picked up a strikeout against Giancarlo Stanton with the bases loaded in the 5th inning. Might have been the turning point of this ball game. Same type of pitch, high fastball.
Biagini had fallen behind 3-0 in that at bat. I have to believe contending teams have their eye on John Axford. The way he is throwing, I mean, I don't know if he's ever thrown this well. Velocity, good curveball, and right now he's still got 96, 97 with movement.
That's the impressive part. He is closed before. The scouts are here taking a look. If you're paying attention, you're seeing a guy you can pitch at the back end of the game that can get you outs, get you strikeouts. And he's done well in the postseason also.
And you know what? There's so many teams that need an extra arm or 2 in their bullpen. You know, everybody's focusing on the big trades, the starters, who's going to go here, who's going there. And of course, Manny Machado. Jay Happ has been the subject of a lot of trade discussion. Manny Machado's birthday today. He's 26 years old.
All of 26
already.
You know, you mentioned about Axford and teams picking up players that maybe go under the radar a little bit. In 15, the Blue Jays picked up LaTroy Hawkins. I thought that was a huge pickup. That veteran leadership, he'd been there before. Mark Lowe was also a pickup by the Blue Jays late. Just another piece out in your bullpen.
Ground ball right to Devin Travis. 2 up, 2 down.
This 4K broadcast is brought to you by the Samsung QLED TV. See nothing else.
Beautiful Friday night in Toronto. And the Blue Jays have a 5-2 lead over the Yankees. John Axford, the 3rd reliever to work for the Blue Jays. Third baseman Miguel Andujar is 0 for 3 with a strikeout.
And I think Axford, if he is available and guys are paying attention, I think he could fill with those. Those were big pickups by the Blue Jays to help them to get into the playoffs both of those years.
Yeah, and you mentioned the trades. Obviously, they got Tulowitzki, then they got Price, then they got LaTroy Hawkins along with Tulowitzki, and then Mark Lowe came. And later after that, Ben Revere, who proved to be a very valuable addition to the ball club.
Yeah, leadoff hitter, something that they were missing. But those bullpen arms and you never know where they're going to come from.
Remember, I can remember you and I watching Ben Revere play the first 4 or 5 games, and they were knocking the bat out of his hand. And we were going, oh, this guy, he's not going to help at all. Boy, he got it going, and he was a big player for the Blue Jays.
Yeah,
down the stretch.
That offense solidified left field, solidified the leadoff spot. He was on base all the time, could run a little bit.
Russell Martin asked for time. Manfred was anxious to throw. Russell wasn't really sure if they were on the same page. It's 0-2 to Andujar. Upstairs. But the way O is throwing now, Axford to Parrott, he's pushed back a bit because of his injury.
So you make him available, you burn up the phone lines, and I'm sure that's what's happening right now.
Line drive to left field, and that's going to get down in front of Hernandez. Andujar delivers a 2-strike, 2-out single. Keep the inning alive. The Blue Jays back in 2015 on July 28th made that trade with Colorado, picking up LaTroy Hawkins and Troy Tulowitzki. Then on the 30th of July, they traded 3 left-handed pitchers to the Tigers for David Price. On the 31st, they received Mark Lowe from Seattle and also Ben Revere. So they all came together at the very end, and I think that's probably what's going to happen in this trade deadline market.
The relievers go first. They really do, because teams win in the postseason with power arms at the back end of the bullpen, and that's got to get settled. Then the starters, and then of course the big names. Can just rejuvenate your bullpen. I remember when Hawkins and Lowe came here, it gave John Gibbons a couple of extra arms to work with, and it just worked out well. Everybody got proper rest, everybody got plenty of work, and the rest is history, as you say.
The really only bad game that Mark Lowe had was the game he arrived, his first game. And he got off a plane, went down the bullpen, and was in that game. And he probably was a little bit tired and a little bit surprised he was in the game. But that's the only bad game that he had. 3-1 now to Greg Bird. Bird has flied out twice to center field. A highlight reel catch by Pilar in the second robbed him of extra bases. Axford loses Bird. Well, he had an extended at bat against Andujar, and the third baseman was able to get a base hit. You just wonder if he needs a little blow here. That's why Russell Martin is out to the mound. He handled Stanton, struck him out, got Gregorius to ground out, and then had a lengthy battle with Andujar.
And use one of your mound visits here. It's the 8th inning. Why not? He's been all over the strike zone, but that long at bat by Andujar has pushed that pitch count up to 18 this inning.
This is the catcher, Austin Roman. He's 1 for 2. Just like that, Roman represents the tying run for New York. Again, each time you walk one of these hitters in the bottom third of your order, you're getting closer and closer to Judge, Hicks, and Stanton.
Yeah, and you're guaranteeing now that Aaron Judge is going to hit one more time.
Good curveball. Now it's 0-2. Finish him off right here.
No need to mess around.
What a job by David Hale. 5 innings of shutout relief. He has given up 3 hits, walked a batter, struck out 1, but no runs. Well, Romine got a piece of it. Fouled off that curveball.
They've got great production from their catchers this season, the Yankees. He's driven in 20 runs, Romine.
20 runs in 98 at bats. Got it. Axford drops that heater on the outside corner. Couple of strikeouts for Axe. They'll go to the bottom of the 8th. The Blue Jays have a 3-run lead. Time now for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Kevin Barker in the Samsung broadcast studio.
Presented by Honda. The Honda Checkered Flag event is back. Hurry in to grab the Civic that matches your game.
David Hale took over in the 3rd inning for Sonny Gray. 5 innings, 3 hits, no runs, a walk and a strikeout. He's thrown 66 pitches. Well, you talk about a pitching coach's dream to have Hale pitch so effectively. Diaz jumps on the first pitch. Gardner cuts it off. He fires it towards second. Here's Diaz sliding into second. He's in there with the slide. A leadoff double for Aledmys Diaz. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Well, Jose Bautista knows all about the Tampa Bay Rays. He's been wearing them out for years. So Aledmys Diaz gets a hit. He's been swinging the bat well all night. Devin Travis trying to shoot it to the other side of the field. We saw the benefits of that earlier.
Let's go back to the Aledmys Diaz at bat after the leadoff double by Grichuk in the 2nd inning. That started that 5-run inning. A big part of it, him moving that runner. It's the only inning the Blue Jays have scored in.
There's another good at-bat by Devin Travis, and you ask, would players remember? Of course they did. He has sacrificed himself earlier in the game. Now Devin Travis takes a page out of his book and moves the runner to third.
Textbook hitting the ball the other way. That style has worked forever. Stay back. Look at everybody giving him a high five. They know how big that at bat was. The hands go first. The bat drags just a little bit. It's an easy ground ball to the right side to advance that runner.
So again, the Yankees infield has to come in. Curtis Granderson takes the first pitch strike. Granderson had an RBI in the second. Gregorius, Walker, and Bird all on the right side of the infield. Oh, he got a pitch to hit to the outfield, popped it up. Romine, the catcher behind home, makes the catch.
Looked like a changeup that was up. The kind of ball that you can hit into the outfield, but Curtis just missed it. Hale's longest outing this year is 3 innings. This is inning number 6 for him.
Teoscar Hernandez 0 for 4. Blue Jays haven't scored a run after the second inning. Haven't been able to add on to that 5-run inning. For the Yankees in the top of the ninth, Neil Walker, the number 9 hitter, will bat first, followed by Brett Gardner and Aaron Judge. Aaron Boone, the first-year manager, saw Sonny Gray go 2 innings, charged with 5 earned runs on 6 hits. But he has been saved by the fact that David Hale is the only other pitcher to work. Generally, when you get into a situation where your starter is out after 2 innings, you've used 3, 4, maybe even 5 pitchers.
Yeah, if you've got those specialists, an inning here, an inning and 2/3, they're carrying 9 relievers. We mentioned that could be huge first game of the 3-game series.
Breaking ball, that's going to get down and go to the wall. Diaz is in to score. Teoscar Hernandez, an RBI double, and there's an add-on run. For Hernandez, his 20th double of the season. The RBI has him up to 35.
What a clutch hit by Teoscar. That's what they were looking for all night tonight. That 2-out base hit.
Well, David Hale, a terrific outing out of the bullpen. And he'll turn things over to Jason Shreve, the lefty. He'll face Solarte when we come back. Big hit by Hernandez. Double, his 20th double of the season. Boy, the Blue Jays needed this hit.
What was impressive is how he stayed back on that breaking ball and ripped it hard to left field. You don't want to get out there too quick. Recognize that breaking ball, head down, and he comes up with a huge hit for the Blue Jays. That's his 35th RBI this season, and it's a big one. It's a nice add-on run.
And Elvis Solarte has 3 hits. He's reached base in each of his 4 plate appearances tonight. Jason Shreve, the second reliever into the ball game.
Yeah, he's a reliever, a left-handed reliever. They got another one down there, Aroldis Chapman, but Shreve is a lefty type of specialist. They brought him in here to turn over Solarte and Smoak, the switch hitters, make him back right-handed.
The Blue Jays tonight have gone 6 for 13 with runners in scoring position. That's the difference in this game. The Yankees, on the other hand, 0 for 6. Remember, the Yankees stranded the bases loaded in the 5th. Solarte, what a play by Gregorius. Low skip to first base. Solarte making a bid for his 4th hit of the night is denied by the Yankee shortstop, D.D. Gregorius, and he made a terrific play at short. This ball was past him, headed to left from his knees. He throws out Solarte. Blue Jays get a big run. This series will take place tomorrow. It all starts at 3:30 p.m. Eastern, 12:30 p.m. Pacific. That's the pregame show. If you like pitching, you've got to turn in tomorrow. It's Jay Happ going for the Blue Jays against Luis Severino. Severino leads the American League in wins and ERA. Jay Happ is 10-4. Severino is 13-2 with a 198 earned run average. Terrific pitching matchup tomorrow afternoon. Tyler Clippard into the ball game to try to wrap this game up. It is not a save situation, but Clippard trying to close out the Yanks in the ninth.
Yeah, Blue Jays scoring that run, a 4-run lead in the ninth. It's not a save situation, but he's won 4 games and had 6 saves, 10 opportunities. He also had 8 holes this year. Tyler into the game for the 44th time this season.
Puts that changeup in there for a strike. It's 1-1.
Clippard has pitched for the Yankees as recently as last season. Got into 40 games with the Yankees. He also pitched with Chicago and Houston last season. So he knows all about these Yankee hitters.
Ground ball. Diaz, the shortstop, One out. Now for a preview of what's coming up next on Sportsnet Central. Here's Ivanka Osmak and Eric Thomas. That's all interesting stuff coming up right after this game, so make sure you stay tuned. Ivanka and Eric will tell you all about it. Back to the top of the order. Gardner shows bunt, takes it outside for ball one. Gardner is 2 for 4. Stole a base in the first inning, struck out in the 7th.
Remember back in the day when they would say, hey, you're down by 4 runs, take a pitch, we need some base runners. I think Brett Gardner does that better than anybody. In the 9th inning, he's going to make you work. He is going to force you into that strike zone. I think that bunt was just to take a pitch, and he took that changeup down the middle.
The Blue Jays have used Biagini, Loop, Axford, and now Clippard out of their bullpen. Blue Jays have a 6-2 lead. They broke it open against Sonny Gray with a 5-run second inning. Justin Smoak had a 3-run home run in the second. Fly ball to right. Grichuk on the run, makes the catch, 2 away. As we mentioned, the Yankees coming into this game had won 7 of the first 10 games they have played against the Blue Jays this season. Aaron Judge will bat with 2 outs and nobody on. The Yankees have 2 runs on just 5 hits. They've left 9 on base. Judge has struck out 3 times tonight. He's 0 for 4.
This is how I like to face Aaron Judge in the 9th inning with nobody on base, and you've got a 4-run lead.
The only hit he has had against Clippard is a home run. Late on that pitch. Judge has 3 strikeouts, as we mentioned. He has now struck out 25 times in 73 plate appearances playing here at Rogers Center. So despite the fact that he has hit 5 home runs, he still swings and misses a lot.
Feast or famine, the Yankees have a sub .500 record in each of the last 8 seasons here in this ballpark.
As we mentioned, the Jays have won the last 3 season series against the Yanks. They went 13-6 in 2015, 12-7 in 2016, and 10-9 last year. Got a win tonight. John Gibbons' Blue Jays would improve to 4-7 against New York. They're mixing the pitches up very effectively against Judge.
They've thrown him a lot of fastballs, and he's taken them like he's looking for something off speed. There was the off-speed pitch. They waited to 3-2 before he got a changeup.
He got a piece of it. fastball. See a lot of smiling faces around Rogers Center tonight. They split 2 games against the Mets. This will be the last homestand before the All-Star break for the Blue Jays. Blue Jays will have an off day on Monday. Play Atlanta Tuesday, Wednesday, and then a 4-game series against the Red Sox, and then the All-Star break.
Yeah, it is not a, you can't coast into the All-Star break, not when you're playing these types of teams. Yankees, Braves, Boston.
Randall Grichuk in right. Blue Jays win it. Boy, a big 5-run 5th inning got everything going for the Blue Jays. There were some great things that happened in that inning. A leadoff double, a good at-bat by Diaz, an RBI by Travis, and Smoak capped it off.
Yeah, and that was it. Basically, that's all they needed were those 5 runs. Great job pitching by the Blue Jays, especially the bullpen. Sam Gavilia gives them 4 1/3 innings, then Biagini, Luke, Axford, and Clippard finish it off as the Blue Jays win Game 1.
Game 2 tomorrow will feature great pitching. Luis Severino for New York, Jay Happ for the Blue Jays. Thanks for watching, folks. Blue Jays win it. Here's Sportsnet Central, Ivanka and Eric.